Time to think. August played up the stomach ache the next day so he wouldn't have to go to school. I admit I felt bad for Mom, who was genuinely concerned that he had some stomach bug. But I had promised August I would not tell her about the incident at school. By Sunday, he was still determined not to go back to school. "So, what are you planning to tell Mom and Dad?" I asked him when he told me this. "Well, they said I could quit whenever I wanted to," he said while he was still focused on his comic book he was reading. "But you've never been the kid to give things up or quit things," I said truthfully. "That's not you." "I'm quitting." "Well, you're going to have to tell Mom and Dad why," I pointed out, pulling the comic book out of his hand so he'd have to look at me while we were talking. "Then Mom will call the school and everyone will know about it." "Will Jack get in trouble?" "Well, I would think so." "Well, good." I have to admit, August was surprising me more and more. He pulled another comic book off his shelf and started leafing through it. "Augie," I said, "are you really going to let a couple of stupid kids keep you from going back to school? I know you've been enjoying it. Don't give me that power. Don't give them that power over you. Don't give them that satisfaction." "They have no idea I even heard them," he explained. "No, I know, but Via, it's okay. I know what I'm doing. I've made up my mind." "But this is crazy, Augie," I said emphatically, pulling the new comic book away from him too. "You have to go back to school. Everyone hates school sometimes. I hate school sometimes. I hate my friends sometimes. That's just life, Augie. You want to be treated normally, right? Well, that is normal. We all have to go to school sometimes, despite the fact that we have had bad days, okay?" Do people go out of their way to avoid touching you, Via?" he answered, which left me momentarily without an answer. "Yeah, right. That's what I thought. So don't compare your bad days at school to mine, okay?" "All right, that's fair, Augie," I said. "But it's not a contest about whose days suck the most, Augie. The point is that we all have to put up with some bad days. Now, unless you want to be treated like a baby the rest of your life or a kid with special needs, you just got to suck it up and go." He didn't say anything, but I think the last one was getting to him. "You don't have to say a word to those kids," I continued. "August, actually, it's cool that you know what they'd said, but they don't know that they said it, you know?" "What the heck? You know what I mean. You don't have to talk to them ever again if you don't want to, and they'll never know why, see? Or you can pretend to be their friends with them, but deep down inside, you're not." Is that how you deal with Miranda?" he asked. "No," I said quite quickly defensively. "I have never faked my feelings with Miranda." "So why are you saying I should?" "I'm not. I'm just saying that you shouldn't let these little jerks get to you, that's all." "Like Miranda got to you?" "Why do you keep bringing Miranda up?" I yelled impatiently. "I'm trying to talk to you about your friends. Please keep my friends out of it." "You're not even friends with her anymore." "What does that have to do with what we're talking about?" That way August was looking at me, reminding me of a doll's face. He was just staring at me blankly with his half-closed doll eyes. "Well, she called the other day," he said finally. "What?" I said, stunned. "And you didn't tell me?" "She wasn't calling you," he answered, pulling both comic books out of my hands. "She was calling me, just to say hi, to see how I was doing. She didn't even know I was going to a real school. I can't believe you didn't even tell her. She said the two of you don't hang out much anymore. She wanted me to know that she always will love me like a big sister." Double stunned, stung, flabbergasted, no words formed in my mouth. "Well, why didn't you tell me?" I said finally. "I don't know," he shrugged, opening the first comic book again. "Well, I'm telling Mom and Dad about Jack Will if you don't go to school," I answered. "Tushman will probably call you into the school, make Jack and all those other kids apologize to you in front of everyone, and everyone will treat you like the kid that should be going to school for kids with special needs. Is that what you want? Because that's what's going to happen. Otherwise, just go back to school and act like nothing happened. Or if you want to, confront Jack about it. Fine. But either way, if you... Fine, 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 he interrupted. What? Fine, I'll go, he yelled back, not loudly. Just stop talking already. Can I read my new book now, please? Fine, I answered, turning around to leave his room. I thought about something. Hey, did Miranda say anything about me? He looked up from her comic book and looked right into my eyes. She said to tell you that she misses you, quote, unquote. I nodded. Thanks, I said carefully, not too embarrassed to let him see how happy that made me feel. Part 3, Summer. You are beautiful no matter what they say. Words can bring you down. You are beautiful in every single way. Yes, the words can't bring you down. Christina Aguilera, the song Beautiful. Weird kids. Some kids actually come out and ask me why I hang out with that freak so much. These are the kids that don't even know him well. If they knew him, they wouldn't call him that, because he's a really nice kid, I always answered. And don't call him that. You're a saint, Summer, Eczema Chin said to me the other day. I couldn't do what you were doing. It's not a big deal, I answered to her truthfully. Did Mr. Tushman ask you to be friends with him? Charlotte Cody asked. No. I'm friends with him because I want to be friends with him, I answered. Who knew that sitting with August Pullman at a lunch table would be such a big deal? People acted like it was the strangest thing in the whole world. It's weird how weird kids can be. I sat with him that first day of school. You know why? Because I felt sorry for him. That's all. He was there, strange-looking kid in a brand-new school. No one was talking to him. Everyone was staring at him. All the girls at my table were whispering about him. He wasn't the only kid that was new at Beecher Prep, but he was the only one everyone was talking about. Julian had nicknamed the Zombie Kid, and that's what everyone started calling him. Did you see the Zombie Kid yet? Stuff like that got around fast. And August knew it. It's hard enough being a new kid, even when you have a normal face. Imagine having his face. So I just went over and I sat with him. No biggie. I wish people would just stop trying to turn it into something major. He's just a kid. The weirdest looking kid I've ever seen, yes, but he's just a kid. The plague. I do admit August's face gets some getting used to. I've been sitting with him for 2 weeks now, and let's just say he's not the neatest eater in the world. But other than that, he's pretty nice. I should also say that I don't really feel sorry for him anymore. That might be the first reason that made me sit down with him on the first time. But it's not the only reason why I keep sitting down with him. I keep sitting down with him because he's fun. One of the things I'm not loving about this year is how a lot of kids are acting like they're too grown up to play things anymore. All I want to do is hang out and talk at recess. And that's all they talk about is who likes who, and who's cute, and who isn't cute. Ugh. August doesn't bother about that stuff. He likes to play Foursquare at recess, and I love to play it too. It was actually because I was playing Foursquare that with August I found out about the plague. Apparently there's a game that's going around since the beginning of the year. Anyone who accidentally touches August for only 30 seconds has to wash their hands or go to get hand sanitizer before they catch the plague. I'm not sure what happens if you actually catch the plague because nobody touched August yet. At least not directly. How I found this out was Mariah Markowitz told me that the reason that she won't play Foursquare with us at recess is she doesn't want to catch the plague. I was like, what's the plague? And she told me. I told Maya I thought she was really, really dumb. She agreed, but she still wouldn't play the ball with the ball that August had touched. Not if she could help it anyway. The Halloween party. I was really excited because I got invited to Savannah's Halloween party. Savannah is probably the most popular girl in the whole school. All the boys like her. All the girls want to be friends with her. She was the first girl in the grade who actually had a boyfriend. It was some kid who goes to the MS 281, though she dumped him and started dating Henry Joplin, which makes sense because the two of them totally look like teenagers already. Anyway, even though I'm not a popular in the popular group, somehow I got invited, which is very cool. When I told Savannah I got her invitation and would be going to her party, she was really nice to me. Though she made sure to tell me she did not invite a lot of people, so I should not be going around bragging to someone that I got invited. Maya didn't get invited, for instance. Savannah also made sure to tell me not to wear a costume. It was a good thing she told me that, because I, of course, would have showed up with a Halloween costume at the party. Not the unicorn costume I had made for Halloween, for the parade, but I would have been goth girl that I'd worn to school. But even that was a no-no for Savannah's party. The only negative thing about going to Savannah's party was now I wouldn't be able to go to the parade with the unicorn costume. It was wasted now. That was kind of a bummer, but okay. Anyways, the first thing that happened when I got to her party, Savannah greeted me at the door and asked, "Where's your boyfriend, Summer?" I didn't even know what she was talking about. "I guess he doesn't wear a mask at Halloween. Need a mask at Halloween, huh?" she added, and then I knew who she was talking about. She was talking about August. "He's not my boyfriend," I said. "I know, I'm just kidding." She kissed my cheek. Ugh, all the girls in the group stopped kissing each other's cheek whenever they said hello. Then she threw my jacket on the coat rack on the hallway. Then she took me by the hand up the stairs to the basement, which is where the party was. I didn't see her parents anywhere. There were about 15 kids there, all of them popular kids from Savannah's group and Julian's group. I guess they've all been merged into one super popular group of kids, now that all of them have been dating each other. I didn't even know there were so many couples. I mean, I knew about Savannah and Henry, but Eczema and Miles? And Ellie and Amos? Ellie's practically as flat as I am. Anyways, about 5 minutes later, after I got there, Henry and Savannah were standing next to me, literally hovering over me. "So, we want to know why you hang out with the zombie kid so much," said Henry. "He's not a zombie," I laughed. I thought they were making a joke. I was smiling, but I didn't feel like smiling. "You know, Summer," said Savannah, "you would be a lot more popular if you did not hang out with him as much. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Julian likes you. He wants to ask you out." "He does? Do you think he's cute?" Yeah, I guess. I guess he's cute." "So, you have a choice. You have to choose who you want to hang out with," Savannah said. She was talking to me like a big sister would talk to a little sister. "Everyone likes you, Summer. Everyone thinks you're really pretty and really nice. And really, really pretty, actually. And you could totally be part of our group if you wanted to. And believe me, there are a lot of girls who want to be a part of our group, and they would love that." "I know," I nodded. "Thank you." "You're welcome," she answered. "Do you want me to tell Julian to come over and talk to you?" I looked over where she was pointing, and I could see Julian looking over at us. Actually, I need to go to the bathroom. Where is that?" So I went where she pointed, sat down on the side of the bathtub. I called my mom and asked her to pick me up. "Is everything okay?" said Mom. "Yeah, I just don't want to stay," I said. Mom didn't ask any more questions and said she'd be there in 10 minutes. "Don't ring the bell," I told her. "Just call me when you're outside." So I hung in the bathroom until Mom called, and then I snuck upstairs without anyone seeing me, got my jacket, and went outside. It was only 9:30. The Halloween parade was in full swing down Amsford Avenue. Huge crowds everywhere. Everyone was in costume. Skeletons, pirates, princesses, vampires, superheroes. But not one single unicorn. November. The next day at school, I told Savannah I had eaten something really bad, Halloween candy, and I had gotten sick. That is why I went home early from the party, and she believed me. There was actually a stomach bug going around, so it was a good lie. I also told her that I had a crush on someone else that wasn't Julian, so she would leave me alone about that too, and hopefully spread the word to Julian that I was not interested. She, of course, wanted to know who I had a crush on, and I told her it was a secret. August was absent the day after Halloween, and when he came back, I could tell something was up with him. He was acting really weird at lunch. He barely said a word. He kept looking down at his food when I talked to him, like he wouldn't even look me in the eye. Finally, I was like, "Augie, is everything okay? Are you mad or something?" "No," he said. "Sorry you weren't feeling well on Halloween. I kept looking for the Baba Fett in the hallways." "Yeah, I was sick." Did you have the stomach bug?" "Yeah, I guess." He opened the book and started reading, which I thought was really rude. "I'm so excited about the Egyptian Museum project," I said. "Aren't you?" He shook his head with a mouthful of food. Actually, I had to look away because between the way he was chewing, which almost seemed like he was being gross on purpose, and the way his eyes were just kind of closed, I was getting really bad vibes from him. "What project did you get?" I asked. He shrugged, pulled out a little scrap of paper from his jean pocket, flicked it across the table at me. Everyone in the grade got assigned an Egyptian artifact to work on for the Egyptian Museum Day, which was in December. The teachers wrote all the assignments down on a tiny scrap of paper, which they pulled out a fishbowl, and then us kids in the grade took turns picking up the papers from the fishbowl in the assembly. So I unfolded August's little slip. "Oh, cool," I said, maybe a little overexcited because I was trying to get him to psyched up. "You got the step pyramid of Saqqara?" "I know," he said. "I got Anubis, the god of the afterlife." "The one with the dog head?" "Actually, it's a jackal head," I corrected him. "Hey, you want to start working on the project together after school? You could come over to my house." He put his sandwich down and leaned back in his chair, and I can't even describe the look he was giving me. "You know, Summer," he said, "you don't have to do this." "What are you talking about?" "You do not have to be friends with me. I know Mr. Tushman talked to you." "I have no idea what you're talking about, Augie." "You don't have to pretend, is all I'm saying. I know that Mr. Tushman talked to some kids before school started and told them they had to be friends with me." "He didn't talk to me, August." "Yeah, he did." "No, he did not." "Yeah, he did." "No, he didn't. I swear on my life." I put my hands up in the air so he could see I was not crossing my fingers. He immediately dug down to my feet, so I took off my Uggs so he could see my toes weren't even crossed. "You're wearing tights," he said accusingly. "You can see my toes are flat," I yelled. "Okay, you don't have to scream." "I don't like being accused of things, okay?" "Okay, I'm sorry." "You should be." He really didn't talk to you?" "Augie!" Okay, I'm really sorry." I would have stayed mad at him longer, but then he told me about what happened to him on Halloween, and I couldn't stay mad at him anymore. Basically, he had heard Jack bad-mouthing him, saying really horrible things about him. It kind of explained his attitude, and now I knew why he'd been sick. "Promise you won't tell anyone," he said. "I won't," I nodded. "Promise you won't ever be mean like that to me again?" "Promise," he said, and we pinky swore. Warning, this kid's rated R. I warned my mother about August's face. I described what he looked like. I did this because I know she's not good at faking her feelings. August was coming over for the first time today and even sent her a text at work to remind her about it. But I could tell from the expression on her face when she came home afterward that I had not prepared her enough. She looked shocked when she came through the door when she saw his face for the first time. "Hi, Mom. This is Augie. Can you stay for dinner?" I asked quickly. It took her a second to answer my question, for it even to register. "Hi, Augie," she said. Of course, sweetheart. It's okay. If it's okay with August's mother." While Augie called his mom on the cell phone, I whispered to Mom, "Stop making that weird out face." She has that look when she's watching news or some horrific event that happened. She nodded quickly. She hadn't realized she was making the face, and was really nice and normal to Augie afterward. After a while, Augie and I got tired of working on our projects, so we started to hang out in the living room, and Augie was looking at the pictures on the mantle, and he saw a picture of my daddy and me. "Is that your dad?" he asked. "Yeah." "I didn't know you were, what's the word, biracial?" "Yep, that's the word." "Yeah." He looked at the pictures again. "Are your parents divorced? I've never seen him drop you off or anything." "Oh, no," I said. "He was a platoon sergeant. He died a few years ago." "Whoa, I didn't know that." "Yeah," I nodded, handing him a picture of my dad in his uniform. "Wow, look at all those medals." "Yeah, he was pretty awesome." "Wow, Summer, I'm so sorry." "Yeah, it sucks. I really miss him a lot." "Yeah, wow," he nodded, handing me the picture back. "Have you ever known no one who died?" I asked. "Just my grandmother, and I don't even really remember her." "That's too bad," Augie nodded. "You ever wonder what happens to people when they die?" I asked. He shrugged. "Not really. I mean, I guess they go to heaven. That's where my gran is." "I think about it a lot," I said. "I think when people die, their souls go to heaven for just a little while. That's like where they see their old friends and stuff and catch up and old times. But I actually think the souls start thinking about their lives on earth. Like if they were good or bad or whatever. And then I think they get born again like brand new babies in the world." "Why would they want to do that?" "Because they get another chance to get it right," he answered. "Their souls get a chance." a do-over. He thought about what I was saying. Yeah, kind of like when you get a makeup test, he said. Yeah, right. But they don't come back looking the same way, he said. I mean, they look completely different when they come back, right? Oh, yeah, I answered. Your soul stays the same, but everything else changes. I like that, he said, nodding a little. I really like that, Summer. That means next life, I won't be stuck with this face. He pointed to his face, and then he said, when he batted his eyes, I might be handsome. I guess not, I shrugged. He's smiling. That would be so awesome, wouldn't it, if I came back and this good-looking dude with a super buff and super tall? I laughed again. He was such a good sport about himself. That's one of the things I really liked most about Augie. Hey, Augie, can I ask you a question? Yeah, he said. And he knew exactly what I wanted to ask. And I hesitated, but I've been wanting to ask him for the longest time. I've not had the guts to ask. What? He said. You want to know what's wrong with my face, don't you? Yeah, I guess if it's okay to ask. He shrugged. I was so relieved that he didn't get mad or sad. Yeah, it's no big deal, he said casually. The main thing is I have this thing called mandibulofacial diastosis, which took me forever to learn how to pronounce. By the way, I also have some syndrome that I can't even pronounce. I'm not going to even try. And these things kind of just morphed together into one big super thing, which is so rare that they don't even have a name for it. I mean, I don't have to brag or anything, but I'm actually considered something of a medical wonder. You know? He smiled. That was a joke, he said. You can laugh. I smiled and he shook my head. I shook my head. You're funny, Augie, I said. Yes, I am, he said proudly, and I'm cool beans. Which I don't know if it